Well, hello and welcome back. I'm in the middle of an illustration for a client, and there's a certain few little bits I want to do. So I thought maybe you could join me. Maybe you could see part of the illustration. I can't show you the whole thing for obvious reasons, but I thought, hey, might be a bit of fun. Come and have a look at what I'm planning out for the illustration, and this will be a part of it. So it might be a bit of fun. So, let's go. Welcome back. So, today's piece of work is basically trying to add a certain element to the illustration that I'm working on. And the part about it that's fun is that in this illustration I'm trying to put a couple of bats in there, and I do love a good bat. I don't know, I've drawn a couple of bats before and I do love them. I love the whole character that they have. The whole character of a bat is quite a beautiful, fun image. I guess not when they're flying above your head, but so I'm going to try to get a couple of bats. Now again, it's like this is already, most of the illustration is already done. I can't show you, sadly, but the illustration is done, and I just kind of felt like above where the character is sitting that it was kind of like empty, and I kind of kept thinking, oh, wouldn't it be fun if there was some bats above the head or something, you know? So that's what I've done. Thought maybe it would be cute to add a few bats there flying around and having fun. So I'm going to play around with some bats. There's no rush on this drawing today because I have to be a little bit more careful about the splash on an illustration, as it needs to be scanned and resized, and sometimes if you're doing elements for a drawing and you're resizing, it kind of gives away the kind of dilemma that there's like all this drawing done in one piece, and sometimes you need to kind of have that kind of uniformity across it. So oh, it's nice. As I've just said, oh yeah, don't splash too much, mate, because yeah, it just doesn't happen, does it? I'm a terrible person to even listen to myself. Terrible, 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 terrible. Huh? You're supposed to be listening to yourself. And the whole idea was that basically it's an illustration for a character that's playing an instrument, and it's for a possible album cover. And what has happened is that it's kind of left me with spaces, you know, when you're trying to plot out an illustration, and the composition of something will sometimes leave you a little bit kind of, like there's a space there, and what do I do with that space? In a kind of very childish way, I guess, I do kind of get a little bit kind of like, yeah, but I could put something nice in there, couldn't I? I could put something. And I didn't draw the illustration because obviously some people are a little bit funny about it. But some people don't like their kind of secrets being handed out. You're doing these drawings for people; they're top secret. So I had to be a little bit careful with that. I'm just trying to give this nice kind of little chubby body to him because I don't have too much. It's kind of like, I've got space, but I have to try and make it into a scene, into something that is a little bit kind of glamorous to look at. So I can't just do a one singular bat flying around because it doesn't have that kind of story about it. It's like, what is he doing? So I'm trying to do two of them. So I'm kind of giving myself a challenge almost. It's kind of like, well, I didn't have to kind of do so many ideas for it, but sometimes you just get a little bit kind of carried away with things. So I'm just trying to draw some wings there to kind of make him look like he's kind of flying around. And I'll do some little kind of feet things down here. Cute. Now the thing is, it's always kind of nervous when you're doing an illustration for somebody because there's always that thing that I love my mess and I love but sometimes it can be a little bit too much for some people. It's like, and you need to kind of tone things down a little bit. So I have sent off the illustration at the moment, waiting for some feedback. And it's always quite scary waiting for somebody to come back and say, well, I don't like your toes, or could he have 5 toes instead of 4 toes? And then you have to kind of re-look at your drawing, and sometimes it makes you reassess what you've done, and then you think, oh, maybe I could do it again. It's kind of like odd to add an extra toe or something. It's like, maybe I could just draw the whole thing again, a new exciting drawing, and then add 5 toes. But then you kind of get into that dangerous ground as like they've seen that one, they like that one. If you were to redraw it, they might not like the new one. But we will find out soon. But it is always a pleasure when somebody has a serious want for a product, an album cover, or a t-shirt design or a book cover or a book illustration or more than one illustration to cover a series of albums, or a gatefold album, or something, something that kind of gives you a little bit of a challenge. That's quite nice. It's a bit too kind of plain, so I'm going to try and do something a little bit more gargoyle-y. If gargoyle-y is a word. It's always kind of like when I do have to actually do an illustration for something that's going to be, obviously if it becomes like an album cover or something like that, then the chances are you might see it for years to come. So you might be kind of like walking through some kind of shop and you might see the album and you go, oh my god, that's that. Oh dear, why did I do that with the leg? Or those bats. Why did I put those bats in there? Well. So, but it's so exciting when people appreciate your work. I mean, it's so nice when someone comes to you and says, "I love what you do. Can you just do it?" I want this. Just get on with it. Rather than saying, "Well, I want this and I want that," which is one of the reasons why I kind of felt like a lot of my years were kind of restricted in a way, working at Disney and working at those big companies. It's like you don't really have much say in what you do. So obviously, I mean, they're paying millions for Buzz Lightyear or something. You don't want to come along and say, well, maybe it could be Sally Crisp, who's the... Oh, no, they don't want to hear that, So... From some silly boy who's got an idea about what would be better. Just trying to get a feeling for where to put them. I know where they're going to be going in the drawing, but it's kind of like I want to kind of feel like they're actually interaction. They're kind of enjoying each other or something. At the moment, I'm not really feeling it with these two. Kind of love the character of it, but I'm kind of feeling like one's kind of looking over there and one's kind of looking down there. It's not really how I wanted it to be. But yeah, that's where this kind of sketching side of life comes in. That's where you kind of put all the kind of the numbers in your brain and you recalculate it out into an expressive drawing. Bats are kind of a strange little creature anyway. They, I love the way that, sometimes like in my garden I can see these little things going tuk, 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 and they change direction so fast. It's like they're all driving like little black Ferraris. They're just flying at like 10 million miles an hour. You can tell I'm not really that pleased with this one, can't you? Maybe it isn't bats. Maybe I need something else above that. Well, I'm not quite sure what I could put up there. But let's. I think I did draw bats before, but it was really quite a long time ago. And to kind of remember. See, one thing that bugs me is about the ears. Where the ears, although I've drawn the ears correct, they don't seem to look correct. Why are they? Why are they looking strange? Is it just that they look strange? Could very well be that. They still don't really give me the feeling that they're kind of playing together, or what is happening there? You know what's happening there, don't you? You know what's happening there. We are going to have to pull out some more paper. Right. Oh, 2 sheets of paper. Let's just throw that one on the side for a moment. Just dump it over there. And put down. Let's get in and get a little bit creative. Maybe it was that pen. Maybe that pen that I was using was unlucky. Maybe. What else have I got? What else? Are you lucky? I need a lucky pen. What about you? Okay, let's try you. Yellow's lucky, isn't it? Trying to start fresh. Try not to think about what you've just failed on. Not failed, but sometimes the mojo doesn't work, and sometimes you need to kind of just let it go and start again. And that's the only way that you'll find that you come across certain illustrations that you just love, by taking that chance of just throwing it away. Don't get so kind of precious about what you've done. Try to get a little bit more craziness in there. I don't know why I quite see. I don't know why I see like piggy noses on bats. Is that correct? Am I, or is it just my imagination kind of going a bit doolally? But it is a nice, refreshing way to not know exactly, like, how does a giraffe look, or how does a bat look, or how does a whatever. That you can kind of just get in there and have a bit of fun with it. Get in there and do some loosening up. Well, that's not a bad little face. Oh, that's much nicer. Yeah, you see, just need to work it out. Just need to let the kind of ink kind of flow a little bit sometimes. Much nicer. I'm going to give it a few more kind of fingers as well. I kind of felt like I hadn't done enough kind of fingers on the last one. Lovely. That's quite sweet. Maybe even one bat might be enough just to distract him. Nice. That's quite a nice feeling to it. It's got quite a nice movement with the actual bat. It is simply that as I looked at my own illustration, I was kind of thinking, well, it would be nice if there was something else there, like, you know. And I will obviously show you the final piece once it's all come together and finished up. Sometimes I do work that has to be a little bit kind of secret. I'm like an FBI artist. Wouldn't that be fun? I understand if people are paying you to do an illustration and it's taken a lot of time to kind of get right, then obviously they want to kind of be the ones who announce it and it be a surprise, you know. Kind of a bit like when I used to do birthday cards for friends and stuff, you know, like I don't do it so much now. I do it for one or two people, but no more. I used to do it all the time at one point. When it was nice, it was when it's kind of like a surprise for somebody and they really appreciate the time you spend on it. Cool. Let's get that other wing in there. That's quite a nice pose, actually. You know, it's kind of got him. It's got quite a nice feel about it. That works. That's not bad. Not bad for one, but I really need to have a second one. Sorry, this is like 4 bats now. It's just trying to keep some kind of originality with their character. It's I think you sometimes can kind of draw yourself into circles a little bit. Nice. A little bit of difference. In fact, it's quite an honourable request because I'm very, very, very pleased with it because it's actually somebody that I really respect. It's somebody that I really love their work. So to do an illustration for them is really very special. And I never see it so much of a money making gig, but more of a kind of the idea that you could pick up somebody's album and go, I did an album cover for them, or that album cover I did, or something like that. It's kind of, I've done it a few times and it's very, very cool. Or even book covers or magazine covers, especially if you're on the cover of something that's really special. Nice. Very different. That's nice. Nice to have something very different with them. Maybe I'd give him some little ears on this one. Maybe give him little bat ears. And that was also quite one of the buzz of working in some of these big companies, you know, working for a Disney or working for something like that, where you at the end of a year's work, you can kind of say, well, that movie, I worked on it, you know. So that was a huge buzz from all the work. And that's also the kind of benefit that you get from writing, illustrating your own books as well. That obviously you have a bigger input on them and a bigger reward if someone says, I love your book, or I read your book, or whatever the comment is. It's incredible. It's just like, you read my book? Wow, you know. You bought my book? That's beautiful in itself. Someone's to say something like that, you know. And at the moment, I'm filling up the shop with some postcards, greetings cards, posters, mugs, cups, and t-shirts, and all the like. So do pop over and check it all out, won't you? Even if you go and have a look, it helps my numbers, you know. It's like, at least it gives me an idea of how many people actually are interested, you know. And that's always you know, I love to get all the numbers and it says you have 600 visitors or whatever. It's a beautiful thing. I'll never get bored of things like that. So there we have two. You got 2 bats today. You got 4 bats. Oh dear, dear, dear. I think these 2 work better. But what do you think? Give me some feedback. Which one of the 4 did you like? Maybe I'll divide them up so that I've got 4 individual bats, and then I can actually see which one I like as an individual, not as a couple. That can sometimes be a little bit distracting if you've drawn them in 2s. Maybe you'll be thinking about them in 2s, you know. So that was it. 4 bats you've had today. How lucky is that? Just get another leg in there. There won't be any framing today because we'll be pulling these off to add to a part of an illustration. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's all going to come together. So you've had 4 bats this morning, huh? I want to know which one. You'll have to look back through the video and find out which one you actually like best. So 1, 2 is the first one. 3 and 4 is these ones. Lovely. It's got a lovely feeling. So that is today's drawing. That is all today's drawings. All 4 of them. While I'm debating which one I like best. What a luxury. And my name is Kieran Siemens, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I love it when you subscribe. I love it when you send me comments. It makes my day even more special than it is with just Mr. Miro. So, That is today's drawing, and that is the bats. So let me know, which one did you like? Did you like 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which one did you like best? I can't get them all on the same page. But that was today's little scribble today for part of an illustration that I am working on, and I really enjoy doing those. They're going to be like a lovely little element. If you see the whole character and then these two little bats are kind of flying around by his head, it will be absolutely fabulous. So thank you very much for being there today. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed today, please come back and watch some more. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.